This feels like it's turned into a teen drama. He doesn't understand his body.
He's discovering his body.
He's discovering himself.
Leave him alone.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Franchise Rundown, the show where we take a second look at some of our favourite movie collections and see if they really are as good as we remember, or in certain cases even better. We're going to go through sequels and trilogies and mammoth movie marathons and give you our very own rundown. I'm one of your hosts, Wayne, and joining me as always is my co-host, Charlie. Charlie, how are you?
I am awesome, Wayne. How are you?
Wow. I'm really good. I'm really excited. We've had a few technical difficulties once again, getting the podcast up and running, but we're here, we're ready, we're good to go.
It's working.
It's
working. Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us out there?
Yes.
What movie are we doing today?
We are doing Captain America.
Captain America. 2011's Captain America starring Chris Evans, Hugo Weaving, Sebastian Stan, Hayley Atwell, and Stanley Tucci. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not entirely sure.
It's Tucky.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Tucky?
I'm pretty sure it's Tucky.
All right, well, we'll go with Tucky.
Okay.
What were your memories of this film before watching it again?
I remember not enjoying it. That's my main sort of memory from it. I don't remember much about the film. I think I only really watched it once, and I remember not liking it. So going back and watching it, I was excited to watch it again, so it was like re-watching it, if you know what I mean. It's like watching it again for the first time because I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember not liking it. So it was a pleasant surprise, I have to say.
Good.
An absolute pleasant surprise. What about yourself?
No, I agree with what you're saying. I don't think I've watched it back again since the first time I watched it, and I always had in my mind, I kind of put this one together with Thor, I think, where I don't know, I think I didn't enjoy it, and when I'm thinking about it, I think the character of Red Skull felt a bit silly. I think Cap grew to be such a big character in these films.
Such a loved character.
Character. And thinking back on how he started, I don't know, I guess it was in my own mindset, but then if you're thinking the same, I think maybe a lot of people might have done the same thing, where they've sort of disregarded it. So I'm hoping that if people do go back and watch it, it'll bring perspective as we've had, because I actually really enjoyed watching it. So much so that when we were watching it last night, we had issues playing the film where everything just, again, technical faults, it wasn't working. And after sort of half an hour getting it back together, that's what I said. I was like, I was really enjoying that.
Yeah.
But we finally got it back. No, we finally got it back. Did really enjoy the film. More so than I thought I would. Mm-hmm. So I was pleasantly surprised.
No, me too.
Cool. Why don't you give us a quick rundown of Captain America?
Steve Rogers, a rejected military soldier, transforms into Captain America after taking a dose of super soldier serum. But being Captain America comes at a price as he attempts to take down a warmonger and a terrorist organization. So a short and sweet little synopsis there. I didn't want to talk about it too much. Obviously, we've got the trailer to play.
Yes.
There's a lot to say about this film, so.
Yeah, it's a good point mentioning the trailer. So for any of you who out there haven't seen the film or haven't seen it in a while like us, now is the time to hit pause, go watch the film, come back, jump into the podcast. And for those of you who are not going to do that, then now's the time we are going to play you the trailer. Let's jump into it.
Play it!
Rogers, Steven.
Just give me a chance.
Sorry, son.
I'm saving your life.
General Patton has said that wars are fought with weapons, but they are won by men.
You just don't know when to give up, do you?
I could do this all day.
Our goal is to create the greatest army in history.
I should be going with you. Look, I know you don't think I can do this.
This isn't a back alley, Steve. It's war.
But every army begins with one man.
5 tries in 5 different cities. I can offer you a chance.
He will be the first in a new breed of super soldiers.
Why me?
Because the weak men lose the value of strength, lose the value of power.
That wasn't so bad.
That was penicillin.
We are going to win this war because we have the best men.
Now, Mr. Stark.
They will personally escort Adolf Hitler to the gates of hell.
How do you feel?
It's all right.
Your task won't be simple.
Who the hell are you? The boss of money.
Your enemy is not what you expect.
I don't know if I can do this.
This is why you've chosen.
What do you think?
I think it works.
And we're back.
And we're back.
So what did you think of the trailer?
It's quite a long trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows quite a lot, which, as you know, I don't like in trailers.
Yeah.
I stopped watching trailers years ago because it ruins movies.
Yeah, same.
But it showed enough to get excited. Showed enough to sort of learn about who Captain is as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just action and Captain America. It's him from being a young boy growing into the behemoth that he is now.
But that's the thing though, right? He's not, right, he's bigger, but he's still a young guy. He's still only really 20 years old.
Yeah.
And even when he progresses into the later films, obviously after what happens, he's still just 20, 21 years old.
Yeah.
There or thereabouts. But you kind of forget that because he obviously is now Steve Rogers, Captain America. He's a big guy, but
Yeah. Why isn't he going out more, getting drunk,
he can't
making
get drunk.
mistakes? Oh, he can't get drunk.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
God, I hate him.
But yeah, with regards to the trailer, I'm like you. I stopped watching movie trailers a while ago. They do tend to give too much away, and I always found, I've just noticed after watching that with the Marvel ones, they tend to throw in a few red herrings to throw you off the scent. So I remember when the Infinity War trailers came out and they shown images of Hulk going into battle.
Yeah.
Do you remember? But he wasn't actually in that.
Yep.
So and
I actually appreciate that.
No, I do, because I might be more inclined to watch it, but they do tend to give too much away. Like watching the trailer there and having watched the film yesterday, I'm like, that would be enough to remind me everything of the film. So
Yeah.
maybe it's too much. Anyway, I enjoyed it.
Right. So let's get into the film.
Cool. All right. So where's our opening scenes? Where do we start?
So in the present day, scientists in the Arctic uncover an old frozen aircraft. So we don't really know what that is yet. We come back to that later on in the film.
Mm-hmm.
We move to March 1942. Nazi officer Johann Schmidt and his men steal a mysterious relic called the Tesseract, which possesses untold powers from a town in Tonsberg in Germany, occupied Norway.
Nice. Watching that there was a lot more references to the gods, as in like the Norse gods, than I remember there being in these films.
Well, we didn't really know much. We'd only seen Thor by this stage, and we didn't exactly read the books when we were younger, so we didn't actually know much about it. But look, so what was it you saw? See if you saw what I saw.
Well, he mentioned straight away that what he's searching for is something from the gods.
It's from Odin. Didn't he mention Odin's name? Yeah.
It was from Odin's treasure room. And also where he actually eventually finds the Tesseract is in that carved wall.
Mm-hmm.
But that, to me, I'm pretty sure that's a depiction of Asgard.
Asgard?
It looks like to me.
Okay.
So it
was like the world tree, where it was the 7 realms.
All the branches.
All the branches, yeah.
It looks like that, but then in the middle it looks like Asgard.
That's it,
from
right.
how it's depicted in the film Thor anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realise there was that much in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite interesting how they're sort of interconnecting the films, obviously with Avengers coming up and with the whole MCU.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realise as early on as it is how much they're putting together.
Yeah.
For it all to work. So
again, I'm not sure at this stage they knew exactly where it was going, did they? They knew they had phases, but they didn't know where it was all going to end. They knew they were going to connect people, but Obviously, they haven't written Endgame by now, have
No,
they?
of
You know what
course.
I mean?
But they've got Avengers in mind.
Yeah.
So they know where that's going. So they
Avengers
know,
have been in mind for a couple of years, I think, yeah.
So they know that Loki's going to come into it. So they know that Avengers is going to be that kind of plot.
Mhm.
So they're leading in, I think, with the addition of all the mentioning of the gods and Asgard and Odin and all this stuff.
See, he's mentioned, but, mentioned where he finds the Tesseract, it's from the Odin treasure room or whatever he says. But it was completely mythical at this point. We hadn't actually, Thor didn't come to Earth till like 70 years later.
Yeah.
So it's all myth. But he's so sure it's there.
Well,
you know what I mean? It's,
yes and no, it's myth because we haven't seen Thor, but we know from Thor that Odin and all of that, they were there before.
yeah.
Remember fighting the Frost
Yeah,
Giants?
hundreds or thousands of years ago, or whatever it was. It became myth, like no one believed in it.
Okay, yeah.
So it was myth based on truth, but yeah, it was myth.
I'll allow you that.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. So we see our first interaction with Johann Schmidt.
Johann Schmidt.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you think?
He's a good character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's got that face. He's Mr. No, what's he called in The Matrix?
Mr. Anderson.
No, he's not Neo.
Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith in The Matrix. So you see him in The Matrix where he's like a powerful enemy, and I relate to that completely with him when I see him. So as soon as I see him walking through, you're like, okay, he's the one in this film. He's the bad guy.
And Lord of the Rings.
And Lord of the Rings wasn't a great guy, but it wasn't terrible.
No, he's not a bad guy. He's a powerful guy.
Powerful, yes, powerful.
Just realised that in The Matrix, he's called Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
And in Captain America, he's called Johann Schmidt, which is basically the German version of John Smith.
So The Matrix is like a prequel to Captain America.
I knew it. I knew it.
God. I wonder if there's any fan theories online. That's when Neo gets his powers.
Must be.
Tesseract.
Or The Matrix.
Oh.
We'll come back to that
yes.
one. Interesting about Hugo Weaving is that he didn't actually want the part.
Mm-hmm.
So there was quite a bit of convincing to get him to do it. He didn't want to be involved, I think, in comic book movies.
Okay.
So,
well, because of how big they were at the time, or just he wanted to be a serious actor?
I think he wanted to be a bit more serious.
And I don't think it wasn't taken as seriously back then, I don't think.
No.
By this stage.
No. I mean, maybe not as serious because obviously you've got Lord of the Rings, etc. before this.
Yeah.
But that was...
biggest films in the world.
Yeah, I think that was quite different. So I think he didn't want to play like a Red Skull baddie.
Mm. I can see that as well.
Yeah.
Like the part that he does play, like with the way the Red Skull looks, you know what I mean? It's not, you can't take that seriously. It's not a serious role, you know what I mean, for a serious actor.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But,
on casting, what did you think of Chris Evans?
I can't picture anyone else doing this.
There's
Captain
a few
America.
that come to mind. So when I was looking into it about how it came around, he actually turned it down 3 times.
3 times, really?
He said he didn't want the fame and recognition and all that would come with it, which you think he would, having already been in a comic book movie.
Yeah, being quite a big actor as well, or just being an actor, really. That's what most of them search for anyway.
But it was actually Robert Downey Jr. that eventually convinced him to do it.
He so keeps the whole thing together, doesn't he? In as Iron Man and as Robert Downey Jr.
Where would we be without you, Robert? And also Stanley Tucci, or Tucci, as you like to pronounce it. He, apparently he only took the role because he really wanted to do a German accent. He just wanted a role with a German accent. And I have to say, it's a really good German accent.
He does well. Yeah.
I love that guy.
Mm-hmm. He's never the lead, but he's always a good part in things.
I know.
He's a great actor.
I really like to see him more.
We love you, Tucky, if you're listening.
He's definitely listening. I know he does. He actually tweeted me the other day. Anyway, we'll get to that. Sebastian Stan auditioned for the role of Captain America.
I did know that one.
But got Bucky instead.
Yeah.
There was quite a few. Another one that I thought maybe could have worked was Jensen Ackles.
Just because the way he looks with the hair and...
I think so, yeah.
Is he a good enough actor? You know what? He probably could have.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been really good.
I'll take that. Maybe he'll come up in the future.
Yeah. There's not many of these roles, and we've said it before, there's not many that we think it's hard to do, to think, who could do it just as well, or who could do it maybe even better.
But if we never would have known the person who's done it, we never would make this comparison.
No,
so,
absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so we get into our first viewing of Young Steve, or Skinny Steve.
Mm-hmm.
To do that role, they had to film it 4 different times, every scene, with Skinny Steve.
So like the actor and then his face on and...
Yeah, so they had First time was, and I think these were all behind green screens. The first time they had ordinary Chris Evans.
Yep.
And he was looking.
Was he like kneeling or something, or they just
I think
superimposed?
I think it's all camera tricks actually.
Yeah, okay.
So they had Chris Evans doing it once normally. Then they had the stunt double who came in to do it. Then they had everyone doing it without Steve Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they had it just completely green screen.
Right.
And all this working just to get those kind of scenes. And I remember that looked way worse than it did.
Yeah. Looking back, it looks decent.
Yeah.
The only thing that looks a bit off is his chin. Like there's like lack of chin in certain angles.
The head size is a bit weird.
It is a little bit, but you know what? It didn't look half as bad as what I remember.
No, same. I think that's one of the things why I didn't go back to the film as well, because in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
it was way worse than it is.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I would say that I think his voice should be a bit higher when he's that little.
Absolutely. Thinking the exact same thing.
Because when he comes out as Captain America, that's when his voice should go that low. But anyway, we'll let it slide.
Maybe they played with that and then just realized how stupid it sounded and just kept his voice.
Yeah, maybe.
It's possible.
Yeah.
In New York City, Steve Rogers is rejected for World War II military recruitment because of various physical problems. So that's Skinny Steve, not been able to get into the army.
Yep.
So moves on from that. He attends an exhibition of future technologies with his best mate Bucky.
Yep. You're missing one bit when we go back when he's in the movie theater and he calls the guy out for a fight and they go into the alley, he's getting beaten up.
He doesn't even throw a punch.
No, I know.
Yeah, he's really hard on that. He just lets him punch.
Yeah.
Like he's going, oh, go on, whatever.
But there's two bits to that sort of set up the whole film. It's the first bit, him as a character. The first bit being, I can do this all day. And
basically his catchphrase.
Basically. And secondly, the picking up the bin lid, using it as a shield. Yeah. That really preludes to him massively.
Well, he tries to use it as a shield, but the fellow just reaches over and punches him in the face.
Which I don't know why more people don't do later on, but we'll get to it.
We'll get to that. Yeah, well, he's not a super soldier. He's a super soldier later on. You can't just reach over.
Yeah, it's true. So that's when, he's off with his best mate, Sergeant James Barnes, Bucky.
James Barnes, Bucky. Yep. They're having a conversation about how he wants to be in the war. He should be fighting for his country. And that's when, Dr. Abraham comes behind. Here's what Rogers says. Mm-hmm. Here's his passion. Here's how he wants to fight for his country.
I think it's more so, it's not that he desperately wants to fight.
He wants to help.
He wants to help. He doesn't want to kill.
Yeah.
He just wants to help. And he
doesn't want to be the one that's not being sent for, you know what I mean? So everyone else is being sent because they can or whatever. He wants to be the one helping these people as well. You know what I mean? Fighting along with his men.
He just doesn't want survivor's guilt.
Yeah, I guess so. Survivor's guilt. Dr. Abraham recruits him to be part of the super soldier program. Lucky that he was walking past at that point.
That's so incredibly lucky.
Yeah. Otherwise he just goes back home, doesn't he? That's it. Yeah. He's done.
And he's probably going to die from one of those many illnesses that they mentioned.
Oh yeah.
He should be dead.
There's a long list, isn't there? Yeah. He does seem quite healthy though. Like, you know what I mean? He's not coughing, he's not wheezing, he's running around, he's having fights. He might be little bloke.
Yeah. I haven't made too many notes on this, but I don't think there'll be too many in this episode. But on how many times should our hero have died in this film? There won't be too many, but had he not gone to join the army, he would almost certainly have died from one of those many illnesses.
Emphysema or something. Or
yeah. Or like
short man syndrome.
So that's one. So Captain's dead once.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't, did you notice what was on display at the Stark Expo?
The Weapons Expo.
Well, there's two things actually.
No, go on. No, I did know one.
Go on.
One was a throwback from when he was, Flame On Bloke.
The Human Torch.
Human Torch, that's it.
Yeah. So the original Human Torch outfit. So that was right back in the beginning of when the Marvel comics were coming out. That was just the all red outfit. Mm-hmm. That would later on go on to become the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four.
What's the second one?
Second one was with the flying car.
Yeah.
So that is kind of like a precursor to the revulsion technology that Tony Stark uses for his suits.
Okay.
You know, the thing that he's got in his arms and his legs are basically what makes him fly.
Yeah.
So that's 60 years in the past. He's kind of perfected what his dad was working on to make flying cars to make his Iron Man suit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That was quite cool, I thought.
Yeah. Well, see, Dominic Cooper I think plays well as Howard Stark.
Yeah, I mean,
he sort of looks a bit like Tony as well.
Yeah. I don't know why they changed the actor though. I suppose because he was a bit older, but it was a big change to the one that they had in the Iron Man films. Do you notice how the Expo started almost exactly the same way as the Tony Stark Expo did?
Pretty much.
With the girls dancing, flashy entrance, show off. They haven't changed that model in 60 years.
It works. This girls dancing, this is weapons. Brilliant.
Yeah,
what more do you want as a red-blooded American?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I suppose. Fair enough.
So, Steve Rogers, he's drafted into the Super Serum, Super Soldier program. But he doesn't just go in and take an injection. He's got to train with a load of other blokes. This is where he meets Peggy Carter, as well as Colonel Chester Phillips, who's played by
Tommy Lee
Jones. I couldn't remember his name there. That wasn't me trying to set you up. I actually couldn't remember his name.
That's why he pointed. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Played by Tommy Lee Jones, who is unconvinced. Claims that he's not the right person for the procedure. Thinks one of the big guys, the big lads, would be right for it. Peggy punches one of these fellas in the face. So, do you remember
There's
that bit?
no way that would be allowed. So,
was it the 40s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guys that
just her to rise to a position of power was impressive enough.
Yeah.
In the 40s.
But there's no way, first of all, that he would say that to her. And secondly, there's no way that the right thing to do in that situation would be to punch him out. It wouldn't be allowed.
Yeah. She's a strong woman. She created S.H.I.E.L.D. in the end, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. How great was Tommy Lee Jones though?
Yeah. I love Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of his perfect kind of role. That's how I always envisage him.
Army, colonel, position of power.
Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you respect him.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
All throughout the film, all the stuff he says, he always, even when he sends a guy out for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
He's still really likable. He's still a little bit scary.
Well, there's a couple of times in this where he's still scary and you think you're going to get in trouble, but you can see him being won over.
Yeah.
So when Captain America, Steve Rogers jumps on the fake grenades to protect everyone, that's when he convinces him, right, he might be the right guy for this. And there's a few other bits where you can see Tommy Lee Jones angry and then Steve Rogers does something and he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's not stubborn, if he sees something's done right, he'll follow you.
No, fair play. That leads into how many times our hero should have died. Number 2. Because I don't see how that was a fake grenade. Or why
it was out of a crate, of grenades.
Yeah.
Did they just carry crates of fake grenades?
Why? That's such a waste.
Yeah. Never thought about it. I've literally just said it like that, like I've been thinking about it, but no.
But he immediately jumps on it. It does go to show a lot about his character.
Yeah.
So immediately, without flinching, he would take the grenade so that everyone else around would live. Yeah. And I think the first time I seen it, it felt a little bit forced, but now watching it, and what you know now, what you know more about Cap later on.
It fits perfectly with his character.
Fit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think exactly the same. It's a bit pushed, it's a bit pushing on us how nice he is. Do you think that he's worthy, even back then, of Thor's hammer? Because there's a fan theory that says he pretends not to lift it in a later film, Age of Ultron, just because he's got humility and he doesn't want to take it from Thor. Do you think he's willing to sacrifice himself? You know what I mean? Or is it your actions?
I think part of it's going to be your actions as well, because you got to remember, at this time, yes, he wants to join the army because he doesn't want to be left behind. Yes, he wants to help his friend. Yes, he wants to save American lives, but a big part of it is he doesn't want to be left behind. I think the big part of it is he's selfish.
Okay.
So at this point, no, I would say he's probably not. But going on throughout the years, how many times he's sacrificed himself, how many times he's done this, that, and the other, I think that makes him worthy. But that's a whole other question. That's a whole podcast.
I know. Okay.
Talking about the worthiness of Steve Rogers. So let's not get into that one.
All right. We'll move on from that.
Yep.
So while all of this is happening, Schmidt and Dr. Zola harness the energies of the Tesseract and start building inventions, massive guns.
Sorry. Tesseract.
What did I say?
You said Tesseract twice.
Tesseract.
Yeah. Tesseract.
Tesseract. What did I say?
Tesseract.
Alright.
I'm just saying.
Leave me alone.
No, you said twice.
Keep this in, alright? Keep this in. See how people see how anal you are.
Alright.
Right, so while all this is happening, Schmidt and Dr. Zola harness the energies of the Tesseract, intending to use the power to fuel Zola's inventions, mounting an offensive that will change the world. Schmidt discovers the Doctor's Erskine's location and dispatches assassin Heinz Kruger to kill him.
Is that his name?
Heinz Kruger, the assassin, yeah. One that comes in and, shoots the place up.
That's his name?
Yeah, Heinz Kruger.
I didn't mention that. That's his name.
Erskine subjects Rogers to the super soldier serum, injecting him with special serum and dosing him with Vita Rays.
Okay. Oh, that's the light that we see, is it?
Yes, the light, yeah.
Okay. So what I found interesting about the super serum, I haven't read up on it, he doesn't actually have superpowers.
Yeah.
Captain America. He's just been enhanced to the ultimate levels that a human can go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Really?
I didn't think he had superpowers.
Oh no, I always thought he had like super strength, super...
Well, he does compared to us.
Right.
But it's just been turned up.
Right.
So, yeah. So he's the exact same as us, but they've just turned, like a big bodybuilder. Like, he's compared to a bodybuilder, he's got super strength compared to us.
Right.
They've turned him up right up.
But there's got to be more there, because you're telling me that...
Science.
No, alright, okay. But you're telling me that a bodybuilder could grip onto the roof of a building and pull a helicopter.
No, I'm saying us in comparison to the bodybuilder is sort of superpower.
Okay.
Yeah, compared to us. So like bodybuilder, and then you got Captain America 10 times above that.
So he's even more than that.
Yeah.
But
they've turned him up chemically.
Okay. But then from what they're saying, from how they describe the super serum, there should be a way for others to get there without the serum. But there's not.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? So he's basically, they're saying he's the peak physical condition.
Mm-hmm. The way they describe it.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
But he's not.
But the serum's got to push past that, surely.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. The whole transformation scene, again, going back, I thought it looked worse than it was.
Yeah.
It looked quite cool. What I loved, and I don't know if you know this, when he comes out of the chamber and Peggy Carter goes over to see him, she reaches out and she'd like to touch his abs or touch his chest or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was not in script.
Mm-hmm.
That was just her almost broke character, and she sort of reaches and pulls away.
Yeah.
That was out of character. That she was worried that almost ruined the scene, but they kept it in because
she'd never seen his abs before.
No.
She was like, oh, hello, or his chest.
I'm not
or
gonna
whatever.
lie, I'd probably do the same.
Absolutely.
They look,
yeah, impressive.
yeah, fair play to him.
Impressive. So he's basically, his body's a 10. And we know, like, because he's had the super serum, him in real life, whatever, his body's a 10.
Yeah.
I just feel sorry for the bloke who was playing Little Him. We're saying his body's awful. That's his actual body. That's his life. And we're saying, no, this is like the worst you can be, and we're going to make you the best you can be.
Well, they're not saying the worst, but yeah, it's not great.
No.
Poor
little fella. We love you, mate.
It's all about the integrity. So the Hydra agent sets off the bomb, kills our beloved Doctor.
Yes, he does.
With his beautiful German accent, who I can't remember his name.
Stanley Tucci.
No, I remember his real name. I can't remember Tucci. God damn. I can't remember his character name.
Abraham Erskine? Abraham Erskine.
Okay, so I can't remember it, but you can't pronounce it.
Erskine.
Let's go with that. It was sad. That reminded me of the Iron Man setup. You know, you've got this guy who basically gives you your power, your identity.
Yeah.
And then dies immediately.
Yeah.
A bit sad.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a good injection of comedy into the film as well, because he had quite a few little funny bits.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sad to see that go. It definitely turned the tone of the film quite a bit darker.
Well, it's sad to see him go as well, because he's a good actor. Like we were saying earlier, we like him as an actor. But now he's been killed out of the whole of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Will they rehire him as another character? Probably unlikely. I'd like to see him as another character in the Marvel universe.
There's a few that come, like, you know, flip back and forth, in and out, but they're not big actors like him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say. So there is, I think it's in this film actually, it's the woman that goes to Captain America for the autograph.
Mm-hmm.
She's a fan in the end. That is actually the character or the actress that plays Peter Quill's mother, Star-Lord's mum.
Yeah.
So they do it little bits here and there, but I don't think they do it with a big actor like that.
Yeah, no.
Tucci.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame. So, the assassin comes in, shoots the place up, kills the doctor. Don't know why he doesn't shoot at Captain America. Captain America doesn't get hit.
Yep.
Or anything, does he?
No.
So, yeah, grabs a little bit of the serum, runs off. Mm-hmm. This is where Steve Rogers bursts out. This is where you see him for the first time sort of in all his glory.
Yep.
Bursts through doors, jumps out, runs straight down the street, chasing after the car, full pelt with no shoes on.
He looks great.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
That bit when he goes
There's
flying.
no jiggling when he's running that fast.
And
how can you be that tight? There's not one little jiggle.
And he goes flying through I think it's the wedding dress shop window.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, if he lands on someone,
they're done.
Yeah, he'd kill him.
Night.
And he says, I'm really sorry. But he doesn't understand his body yet.
No.
This feels like it's turned into a teen drama. He doesn't understand his body.
Discovering his body.
He's discovering himself.
Leave him alone.
Off he chases the Hydra spy agent.
Kruger.
Heinz
Kruger. That's a cool name.
It is a cool name.
Yeah.
I wish that was used.
You couldn't be a good guy and be called Heinz Kruger.
No, definitely not. Chases him down to the dock where he kidnaps a soulless child.
Just because it's ginger doesn't mean it's soulless. And I shouldn't call it in it, but still.
That's worse. I love when he throws the kid in the water. And then you think, oh no, don't go for the kid, go for the guy. Yeah. You know, he's alright. And the kid says, I can swim, go get him. Like, right.
Yeah, people can swim.
Yeah, exactly. He gets, there's no way, I'm telling you right now, there's no way he's catching up to that submarine.
I don't know, he can run pretty fast.
Yeah, I know, but he's not Aquaman.
But he can kick pretty fast, so he can swim fast.
But this is the thing, right? He hasn't got superpowers. He's just a really strong human. He cannot, I don't think he can go that fast underwater.
It'll be faster than, like, Michael Phelps, like, the fastest swimmer in the world.
I don't think Michael Phelps would get anywhere near it. This is an underwater submarine. Yeah, it's not.
But maybe it's 1940s.
Out of water submarine.
Yeah, right. Yellow submarine.
Yes.
It's a 1940s technology. It won't necessarily kick off and go 100 miles an hour straight away. It might have to warm up a bit.
Okay.
Let's not overanalyze that bit.
Okay. Alright, well then the bit I will overanalyze is how when he gets into the surface of the water, he can throw him up onto the pit. Nuh-uh.
No, because you need to be standing to throw, otherwise you're just flinging your arms around.
Yep.
You've got no weight behind it. Oh, cool.
But
we can't really see where he throws him from. He might be grabbing a pole or something down there and then throw him.
Fine. We'll move on. I am trying to be not so negative on these films.
Yeah, I know. I'm literally, that's what I'm trying to do now. Well, I find myself being so negative so often where it's a film I've even enjoyed.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be positive and be on Cap's side. But
that's the points that you need to, that you inevitably going to pick up on these films, right?
Yeah.
Are the things that make you question it. Because otherwise you're just watching it in pure bliss and you're not going to say, it's like when you watch a really good movie, you don't say anything to the person you're watching it with.
Yeah.
You just enjoy it start to finish.
Which actually is very rare these days.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Without getting your phone out.
Yeah.
You know
so
what I mean?
when we're watching this together last night, the only time that we're pausing it to make notes or the only time that we're stopping to talk to each other is when something comes up and we're questioning it. Why is that? That's a bit strange. So I get it. We're not being negative. We're just picking up on those points because they're noteworthy.
Well, to be fair, and we do care about the films and the franchise.
Of course.
So that's why we are looking for these sort of things.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
No. Okay.
Anyway,
cool. Right. With Erskine dead and his super soldier formula lost, US Senator Brand has Rogers tour the nation in a colourful costume as Captain America to promote war bonds while scientists study him and attempt to reverse engineer the formula. Poor bloke.
Yeah.
Dancing around with women all day.
Yeah. Not the way to go.
No. He's literally the strongest man on the planet and they're parading him around with frilly outfits.
Dancing around. It does show off a bit of his, side of his strength. The fact that he can lift up the motorbike with 3 women on it.
Well, was that real?
Well, no.
Not in real life. I mean, was that him in the film doing it, or did they have strings? Because that would be it wouldn't be balanced motorbike, would it?
No, I think he did it.
Okay.
Well, in the film, obviously. But that's just showing obviously how strong he is.
Yeah.
It's a total waste.
Mm-hmm. Peggy sees that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says, what are you doing? Which sort of gets him to turn around a little bit, doesn't it? Well, also, in 1943, while on tour in Italy performing for active servicemen, Rogers learns that Barnes' unit was in a battle against Schmidt's forces. Refusing to believe that he's dead, Rogers has Carter and engineer Howard start flying behind enemy lines to mount a solo rescue attempt.
Mm-hmm. This was cool.
Him in the plane, with Howard Stark.
We'll just go,
Him just going in behind the lines on his own.
Yeah.
It's him being Captain America
Yeah.
first.
That's it.
Whoosh.
And this is the thing, we're going to keep saying it. He's not got superpowers. He's not.
He
impervious
doesn't even
to
really know
bullets.
his powers yet. He
Yeah.
can lift a motorbike. That's all he really knows so far.
He's not impervious to bullets.
Do we know that? Because in all these films, I've never seen him get shot.
Yeah, he gets shot in Avengers, doesn't he?
He gets shot with a laser gun in Avengers.
Yeah. In
Not
his chest, right?
Yeah, but not a bullet. I've never, in any of the films, I've never seen a bullet hit him.
I think after that scene, not in Captain America, I think they give him a new suit where it will stop
Will help at least. Yeah.
bullets and knives, and also his shield.
I just want to know if he's bulletproof or not.
He's not bulletproof.
He's definitely not.
Definitely
But would it only go a little bit in? Like, it wouldn't go all the way through? Because he can take a punch from Thanos and not die, which is going to be a lot harder, you know what I mean, than a bullet, you know what I mean?
He's one that I think is a little bit unexplained. Whereas someone like, for example, Ant-Man, as soon as you are introduced to him as an idea, what's his name? Michael Douglas as Hank Pym.
Yep.
Basically gives him a rundown of his powers.
Yeah.
You can do this. You can't do this.
This is how you do this.
This is how you do this. You're when you're this size, your mass is this size. You can do you get a rundown. But with Captain America, you don't.
No, never.
He just comes out of the chamber, and you can. I think you're just left to sort of make it all up for yourself. Really, you can see he's obviously super strong. You can see his speed. You can see his strength. You can see his stamina. All that, but it just seems to be heightened. But anyway, so him going behind enemy lines on his own. I'm in love with the idea. What I'm not in love with is the fact that he does it. He goes into a Hydra base, all dressed out in black, wearing a shield with the American flag on.
Red, white and blue, essentially.
That is ridiculous.
Not exactly camouflage.
That's a terrible plan.
With gold stars on it. Did it have gold stars on it?
No, I don't think so.
No, but it had red, white and blue.
Yeah.
The white is enough.
Yeah, it's just the red, the blue, everything.
Yeah.
You can see him anywhere you're looking. You can see him going through that facility, but he doesn't get caught.
And there's no chance there would have been an American flag there.
No.
Like someone go, oh no, yeah, we've got one of them over there as well. Like,
ridiculous. How he made it through the whole way, I don't understand. There was a little bit of racism in there. Do you remember when he freed some of the hostages and the guy looks at the Asian character and says, "Oh, what? We're freeing everyone now?" He's like, "Hey, I'm from Fresno's." Ace.
I actually missed that bit.
Did you not catch?
I didn't pick up on that.
How did you not pick up on that?
I don't know.
He thought he must have thought they were, That was a bit. Oh, and then
it was the 40s. Like,
yeah. Then
racy.
They became a little bit, best friends, but didn't really buy into that one.
So he gets in. He frees Barnes and all the others.
Why is Barnes the only one that's been?
Why is the only one tied up?
Yeah.
On a bed.
Yeah.
I have no idea. How
plot convenient.
Well, does Red Skull know? Because he obviously knows that he's had the serum. Does he know that that's his friend? So he sees him as a threat. So he's separating him, or is it literally just know that he's his mate?
It's just got to be a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
I can't see how he'd know. There'd be no way. He frees Barnes. They are trying to escape the facility. This is a large hangar for a Zeppelin. Right? It's on fire. Right? The whole thing's exploding because they've set the bombs off. It's all coming down. Why do they decide to go up? When they're trying to escape, they're going up. This has got to be 70, 80 foot high.
Yeah, it's not like they got to a set of stairs. They looked down at all there's fire, let's go up, did they? Is that what happened?
No, they just happened to be at the very top where they just happened to run into Red Skull.
Yeah. First interaction between them.
Yeah, but it's a terrible idea to go up. Don't go up.
That's where the fire grows. It points up fire.
Yeah, but also if anything goes down,
points up.
You've got 70 foot to fall. Go down. Get out.
He doesn't know he can survive that at this point. He's never dropped 70 foot.
Exactly. And he knows Bucky can't survive it.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah.
Well, not yet.
So we see Red Skull
takes his mask off.
Yeah,
says he's proud of. Yeah, again, rewatching it, I don't hate it as much.
Yeah.
Because I know a little bit more about the Red Skull now, but I didn't know much about him when I first watched it. I weren't expecting it. I knew he was the Red Skull, but I was expecting to see the Red Skull being born or something.
Yeah.
He just whips a mask off.
So as we know, he was given a non-complete version of the super soldier serum.
Yeah. But they said it affects people in different ways as well. If you have hate in your heart, if you've got love in your heart, or whatever, something like that. So he's turned a bit naughty.
Yeah.
But he's technically just as strong as Captain America.
Almost, I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
Or, probably the same. Mm-hmm. But they don't really explain why he has, gone red. They say, I'm reading a little bit saying something to do with burns, but there's not enough there.
Well, it's a new serum, I guess. But I don't say why his nose fell off, do they?
No, it's true.
You're going for the red bit. Where's his nose? It's not Michael Jackson.
What do you think he'd do if he got a cold?
Oh, God. You're just leaking out.
Oh.
Or he sneezes and it covers the entire room.
Oh, that'd be gross.
Poor bloke.
Poor Red Skull.
This is why he's doing it. 'Cause he hasn't got a nose. It feels bad. He wants to make everyone else feel bad.
That's why he wants to take over the world?
Yeah. He wants to take over the world, taking out all their noses.
Okay, no, I get that. Fair. I'm on his side now.
Me too.
I appreciate it.
Mm. Should we reshoot the film?
Yeah. Totally. I'll be Steve.
Damn it! I'll be the German that dies.
So they get away, and this leads into probably one of my favourite scenes of the whole film.
Mm-hmm.
When all the captured soldiers from the 107th are coming back
striding
into
back.
The camp. That's so cool.
With tanks and guns and
Captain America's leading them. And that's when everyone gets behind the idea of Captain America.
Yeah. I don't want to put a downer on your favourite scene, because it's one of my favourite scenes as well.
Go on.
But, so yeah, you got a couple of people in a tank driving the tank. But when he flew there, they said they're at least 30 miles away. So all them blokes have just walked 30 miles. Not a single one of them was sweating or looked knackered.
They probably took it in shifts. And do you know what?
They were carrying,
They probably camped about a mile away so that they could look cool when they got back in.
Alright, cool. Alright. It's time for you to be positive and me to be negative.
Exactly, yeah. They wanted
to
to
still, 30 miles.
I think it's probably more.
Mental. Yeah, at least
30 miles is not that far when you think about it.
Well, it's at least, if you're walking at a normal pace, at least a 10-hour walk.
Wow.
Yeah. So you walk about 3 miles per hour.
Do I?
Well, not you.
Well, you bounce when you walk, so.
Oh, that's just rude.
Get that out there.
So, Rogers is now been accepted into the army, if you'd say properly. Mm-hmm. This is when they start sending him out on missions. He recruits Barnes, Dum Dum Dugan, Gabe Jones, Jim Morita, James Montgomery Falsworth, and Jacques Denier to attack Hydra bases.
Yeah.
So he's got his little death squad. Death squad? No.
I put a note like that, like a Suicide Squad basically, because they're going on really dangerous missions.
Hydra bases. They've already seen the weapons that vaporize you that they made.
There is a name for them. I think they're called the Howling something. There is a name for them. I cannot get it right now.
Yeah, I haven't got it.
One fact that I read after that really upset me was that they almost had Wolverine and Magneto in the film.
Oh, really?
But they couldn't do it because of rights issues. Because they were both around during World War II.
They were fighting, yeah.
That
would have been brilliant.
Yep. Even if it was just little cameos.
Just in the back, yeah. Just one sharpening a knife or somebody eating an apple.
Or a news story.
Yeah.
Or something, but they couldn't do it because of rights issues. That sucks.
Oh my, so sucks. They're so stupid. The politics behind all this.
I know, that would have been brilliant.
It would just been brilliant for everyone, just not the people that's making money off it, I guess.
Yep.
Grow up, guys.
But we didn't get it, never mind. Maybe one day in the future, because now X-Men's coming into the MCU. Mm-hmm. And Fantastic Four is coming back into the MCU, and they're probably going to reboot it all. And I'm looking forward to them rebooting it. I really love the early X-Men films. I love everything about the Wolverine. The newer X-Men films, I think, have lost their way a bit, so I think it's good.
They started off great.
Yeah.
The first two, I think.
I'm saying lost their way.
Definitely. I haven't even watched the new one yet.
I have.
The Jean Grey,
Yeah, it's alright.
It's alright. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go.
I don't know why we're talking about that now.
You put a stamp of approval on it.
Yeah. Now you can watch it.
It's alright.
Yeah, it's alright.
So Cap's in his new team. This is where Stark, gives him some new gear. One of them being a round circular frisbee.
It's not frisbee.
Why would I say round and circular in the same sentence? They mean the same thing.
That's a good question. He's trying to design him a shield, and he's got loads of different ones together.
Yeah.
And he picks up the circular vibranium one and questions about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why Stark wouldn't be going for that one anyway, because it's so expensive.
It's the only bit of metal they've got.
Right. Okay.
Of vibranium. That's it. So he's not going to go, oh yeah, quick, have this. It's the only thing, it's the only bit I've got of this.
Right.
Where he could use it for other things.
Okay. And another thing, so actually in the comics, the shield is made up of vibranium and adamantium.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. Did not know that.
So so the vibranium makes it take in all the damage that it absorbs all the damage that it takes, and the adamantium is what makes it nearly indestructible. But
okay.
adamantium being canon in the X-Men universe, they couldn't include it.
Didn't know that.
Sucks.
It sucks.
I've saved all these sad facts for you because I wanted you to be just as sad as I was when I read them the first time.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah. This is just after Peggy Carter. So there's a little bit of a romance going on between those two. I think there's a bit of an age gap. She's
got a high rank in the military.
So she's got to be
at least in her 30s.
At least in her 30s.
Yeah, and he's early 20s.
Yeah. There's a big age gap there that I think just because he grows up or grows into this giant man.
It shows you when you know what I mean, you look great, you've got a great body,
yeah,
you can get what you want.
Matt, we're going to get known on this podcast for just being like hot guy shamers.
Yeah.
That's all we seem to do. But then again,
it's our insecurities.
That is our life.
That is like 8% of my week.
So after their little romance has been brewing for a while, he bumps into Natalie Dormer's character, who's a bit full on.
Wow, yeah. Nothing wrong with that, Wayne.
No, I know, but I don't know. Maybe a bit uncomfortable, to be honest.
Oh, mate. You haven't been single in a long time, have you?
And yeah, she sees them kissing. So when he finally gets his shield, when he asks her what he thinks, that's when she pulls out the gun, fires off 3 rounds. And I thought, wow.
Yeah. What if it had ricocheted?
Exactly. Yeah. It should have ricocheted.
It absorbs the vibration of the thing. So, the vibranium, so it absorbs it. So I think it absorbs the hit.
The bullets just drop.
Yeah. So I think that makes sense with what it is. But still.
She didn't know that.
No, exactly. She didn't know that. Yeah. It's a bit of metal. Could have killed everyone in that room.
Including him.
Yeah. It's plan number 3, is it? What they could have done. There's a lot of bombs and stuff in that room.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Rogers and his team sabotage various Hydra operations. In 1945, the team assaults a train carrying Zola. Rogers and Jones succeed in capturing Zola, but Barnes falls from the train to his apparent death. Why is it an apparent death? He should have died. It was about 1,000-foot drop.
Yes.
Again, spoilers for later films. He comes back as the Winter Soldier.
But I think at this point, hasn't he already been injected with something?
No.
Why was he?
Who injected him?
That's why he survived. No,
that's a fair point. I
thought
he was picked up and then injected and sorted out from there and made him into a super soldier and a spy or whatever. But no, he probably was already injected with the one that. Or something.
Well, he didn't know. I think he didn't know what he was injecting.
Yeah.
He didn't know anything about it. So that
makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
But still, dropping 1,000 feet and only losing an arm, it's not bad.
Yeah, that's true.
And you get an awesome metal arm.
Again, why are they getting all this? It's supposed to be the hardest metal to get on the planet, but no, as long as our main characters get some, it's all fine. Yeah, so Bucky dies, as we know it.
Yeah.
Cap's obviously distraught.
Realizes he can't get drunk.
Oh, that sucks.
No, it really does.
So he's got such a high metabolism. Metabolism. He's got such a high metabolism that he can't get drunk, and that is, man.
When you need it.
Yeah.
You need it, so yeah. I'm wondering that, because he's got a very high metabolism. If he just downed 20 bottles of absinthe, like really high concentrate of alcohol in them, do you think you get a little buzz?
He probably couldn't afford it.
Oh, yeah, well,
but could he do it? I don't know. Probably. Absinthe.
Who would want to?
Don't mess with absinthe, people. Okay. PSA. Don't mess with absinthe. Otherwise you'll fall asleep 2 hours before your flight is due to take off and you have to be carried onto the plane.
Did that happen to you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to talk about it?
Nope.
No? Okay. We'll move on. Right. So they have Zola. They extract some information from him. And this is when sort of the final Hydra stronghold is located from the information they get from Zola. Roger leads an attack to stop Schmidt from using weapons of mass destruction on major American cities. This is the sort of end fight scene. They send everyone in. Cap's just looking for Schmidt, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to end it. Well, Red Skull. I think we can call him Red Skull at this
point.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what he says. When he's in the bar with Peggy, he just, can we just, what a name, Peggy.
It's the 40s. It's appropriate. It's age appropriate.
Yeah, I know. It just seems like such an odd woman's name.
Peggy. Ooh.
Sorry for any listeners out there called Peggy. Whoops.
There's no listeners called Peggy listening to this.
There might be
There's
one
no
day.
listeners called Peggy who can know how to download a podcast.
There might be one day.
Okay. Is your name that's going to come back round?
Yeah, these always come back in circulation, don't they?
Adolf never did.
No, I can't think why.
No. Shame.
That's actually, as you mentioned that's a really good point, right? So, at the beginning of the film, when Red Skull is looking for the Tesseract and he says, and the Führer is in the desert searching for trinkets.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a clear reference to Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was also produced by Paramount Pictures, this Captain America being the last Marvel film produced by Paramount Pictures. So I think there's and I'm pretty sure one of the main directors or producers or something worked on both those films. So I think that's an obvious link that they're saying maybe they're in the same universe.
Oh, that'd be good.
That's pretty cool.
Indiana Jones is in their universe. Oh, that'd be amazing.
Basically.
Yeah.
And there's another bit when, what is it? I think it's in one of the fight scenes when Captain America pushes one of the bad guys into the plane's blades, or the propellers. And again, that's very, very similar to a bit in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
So I think they're mashing those two together. I actually like that. When I seen the plane bit, I was like, oh yeah.
Symmetry.
Yeah. Love it.
Little throwbacks.
Love it.
Yeah.
So this is one bit, and again, not to be too negative, but these are one of the bits that I didn't enjoy was the fighting montage. I thought some of the graphics looked awful.
Yeah.
So, some of the tanks and people shooting and just everything looked really bad green screen. Considering how much they've got right on the film and the looks of it and everything, that montage looked awful, I thought.
Are we just living in a world now where we've watched the last, say, 4 or 5 Marvel films that have had a budget of hundreds of millions, where this film probably had a small budget, so couldn't spend the amount that they say spent on Endgame or whatever. So it wasn't necessarily technology's caught up. It just there wasn't the budget back in these days. There wasn't as much demand for these films.
I guess.
You know what I mean?
I mean, even I don't remember.
I think we're
issues like that in Iron Man.
I think we're spoiled now by technology. Right? So if we do spot anything that's a bit not perfect, we lock onto it.
Yeah, maybe.
Where it costs a lot of money to do this green screen stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This film came out in 2011, so you got to think they started working on it probably 2007, 2008.
Writing it.
Yeah, filming and stuff probably 2009
or 10. Yeah.
So you're talking 10 years ago. But I don't know. My complaint is not that it doesn't look good, it's that compared to other things that we're seeing in this film itself and in other films even previously, the CGI in just that one, sort of 2-minute bit was really poor.
Okay.
And that, I think I made 2 or 3 notes on that last night. That was, that really, it brought me out of the film. So as we were saying earlier on,
that's a shame,
you're watching it and you're just focusing, you're really happy, you're really enjoying it. But then something like that really sort of brings you back out of it. And I was like, oh.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. But after, it gets better.
Okay, moving on. So Rogers, Cap, climbs aboard Schmidt's aircraft after getting in the car with Peggy.
Yep.
Has a little kiss. More likely his first kiss he's ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. He says he's never danced with a woman and whatever, yeah. He says he's never danced with a woman before, so I'm assuming he's never kissed one.
Yeah. Really bad timing.
Oh god, yeah. Doing about 120.
Yeah. How long is this runway?
Yeah. So he gets on board. He fights a few blokes. One bloke, tries to escape in like a missile / airplane.
So he's like kamikaze pilots, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So he gets released into one. He's on top. He punches the glass window open, throws him out, and then flies it back into the plane. Do you remember that bit?
That's why the door's open.
Yeah. How or when did he learn to fly a plane / missile? He was very good at flying that thing.
Oh yeah.
There at no point has he had any training on how to fly a plane or fly a missile or whatever it is, little helicopter-y thing.
Oh yeah. And also, why didn't it blow up? That is literally the one purpose of that flying bomb
Kamikaze device
is to blow up on impact. Why didn't it blow up when it flew into the giant plane?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of, that's another thing that bugged me actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's back on the plane. He's taken out almost all of the kamikaze pilots and their bombs. He's seen that they've all got markings on them for where they're going to go. You've got Berlin, London, and when he really focused on the New York one, obviously because he's from Brooklyn, so that's his home. That's where he wants to save the most, I guess. Selfishly, he goes back up. He's having his. I feel like there would be more staff on this plane.
It's a big plane.
Yeah, it's a big plane. There's got to be more people to run it. So there seems to be just the Red Skull and
they had
kamikaze pilots.
They had Zola, who was a genius technician, scientist. He could have probably built a plane. Like our planes now, you don't really need a bloke in it. You just need to autopilot it. Maybe he's done a bit of autopilot on the plane.
Okay, alright, I'll let it go. So we have a fight scene with Cap and Red Skull. I thought this was quite good. This was balanced fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
There's nothing too spectacular about it. It's a fight.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? Yeah. There's no flips off walls. There's no, it's a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two guys of equal strength having a fight. And I think it was filmed well, when the plane flipped and they're trying to clamber back to the controls and they're trying to get through the room.
Flying around. That was a cool bit.
It was really good. I really enjoyed that.
Oh god. In the fight, that's when the container gets damaged that's holding the Tesseract. Mm-hmm. And then, Schmidt grabs it.
Yep.
And then disappears into a wormhole into space.
So for years, we thought he died. Because the way that he goes, and maybe...
It was similar to the way his weapons took people out.
Disintegrate people, basically.
Yeah.
Which I thought the whole way through was really harsh.
It's just a quick... I'd rather get shot by one of them than shot in the chest by a bullet.
I know.
And die for 12 minutes.
It just seems worse. I don't know why.
Just insta-death.
Yeah, maybe it's better. I don't know. It just seems harsh that they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not even a body to bury.
Yeah, okay.
So little German kids waiting for their Hydra dad to come home. But they can't, there's nothing to bury.
Papa!
So deep.
Dust in the wind.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so he gets sucked into a wormhole into space.
Mm-hmm.
We think that's him done, which he pretty much is for the next 9 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you think so we know that he goes to Vormir to be the keeper of the Soul Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that in any way, shape or form that was pre-planned? Or do you think that they just had him killed? And then they used
I think they've written it in the way where they want to get back to him at some point. They've left it open. I don't think they've written it in the way, he'll be the keeper of the Soul Stone.
Okay.
But they've just sent him off and right, we've got him in our back pocket. Mm-hmm. We can use him at some point.
Well, knowing that it is the Space Stone, the Tesseract, that's basically what it does. It transports anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think all those people that were killed with the space guns, do you think they were killed? Do you think they could be anywhere in the universe?
I think they were sucked into space, then instantly died in the vacuum of space. Yeah.
Papa?
I mean, the odds of just being on a habitable planet with oxygen, if they say they were getting sucked into space, the odds of them going on a proper planet with oxygen and everything they could, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they could have just gone 2 foot to the left.
Oh god, that'd be awesome.
Really annoying actually.
It would change the film.
Yeah, it would.
Oh.
Right, so Schmidt's gone.
Tesseract burns through the floor, plane floor, plops in the ocean.
I totally missed that bit. When the Tesseract dropped through the plane.
Mm-hmm. So a little bit after this, Howard Stark finds the Tesseract because of his energy signature.
Right.
That's why they couldn't find the plane, because there's nothing to track the plane. They couldn't fly in Cap's plane.
I think that's nonsense that they couldn't find it. For so many reasons. There's so many ways to tackle it, right? So they know where he left from, and they know where he was going.
Yeah.
And they know how long he was flying.
Yeah.
They've got some of the smartest brains on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a simple little bit of maths to figure out rough, you could get a 20-mile radius of where it could be and search.
That's a fair point.
It can't be that hard. They know where the Tesseract dropped. So maybe that could have floated around the bottom of the ocean, and that could be a thing, but chances are it didn't.
Again, he was on a radar as well. She was talking to him and looking at his plane on a radar.
Yeah.
And then the plane cut off. Look where it cut off.
Exactly.
Basically, yeah. It shouldn't have taken 70 years. It should have taken about 7 hours.
I don't see how they failed to find him for so long.
Mm-hmm. Were they even looking for him when they actually found him?
Do you think they just, in the beginning of the film?
Yeah. Or were they just looking for some treasure or oil, or who actually finds him?
I think it was, it's people that were just excavating the area, and then they called in the military because of what they found.
Right, okay.
I don't think they were looking for him, yeah.
Right.
But maybe they didn't go looking for him because they just assumed that it would have exploded. Because I would assume that the plane would explode. Mm-hmm. That's the reason that he put it down. Was because if it landed in New York, it would explode and kill everyone.
Well, no, yeah, it would explode, but it also, that speed, go for about, also with that speed, it'd go for about 3 miles along the floor in one of the busiest cities in the world, take out people left and right, and the explosion. So it's not just, it's the aftermath.
But it didn't explode.
No, because he just plopped it in some snow.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And also,
it looked fairly intact as well at the start, yeah.
Like they can drill into it so that then they find the shield.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he just jump out? Just point it down and jump out the back. The back door's open.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fair point.
What? He didn't actually have to sacrifice himself.
No. You know you're a super, even if you don't know if you're a super soldier, that's more likely you're going to survive that than it is going down with the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so point down, run.
Yeah, just get
out. I don't know, maybe you have to push it down. Maybe if you let go, it corrects itself.
I'll take your belt off and strap it to it. There's got to be a way.
Yeah. At least try a way, yeah. While you're having that conversation with Peggy about, I'm sorry we didn't go on our date and then have a dance.
That was sad.
Take your belt off. That was sad.
That was sad.
It's like first love.
Yeah.
Finally kissed her.
You'll have to take a rain check on that dance.
Oh.
That was sad.
Oh, and that gets referenced in several movies after this, doesn't it?
And he's always got that picture of her in his little compass.
Mm-hmm. That was creepy. He had that picture in his little compass or clock or whatever it was before they'd even kissed, before they'd done anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't carry around a photo of someone you've only spoke to a couple of times. You'd get done for that now, I think. Her brother would come and beat you up at least.
Yeah, it was a bit peculiar.
Mm-hmm.
And they caught it on camera as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For the world to see. Oh.
That was a bit creepy. Anyway, so we have our end scene where Cap wakes up unbeknownst to him 70 years later.
It's a 1940s style hospital room.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a few things that he notices that make him realise that it's not the 1940s.
Okay.
So the first being that they're playing a baseball game on the radio.
Yeah.
And he recognises the game because he was there. So he only knows of live radio.
Yeah.
He doesn't know of recordings or anything. So he thinks that they're trying to make him think it's that time.
Yeah.
But he goes, I know it's not that date because I was there.
But with this, so I'm not a football fan or a sports fan. You are. You've been to many games. If I played you a bit of radio footage or a bit of footage from a game you went to, would you really be able to decipher that that was the game you went to within 20 seconds?
If it was something memorable, almost certainly.
If he heard about 20 seconds of it, it didn't. Like again, I'm not a football fan. Maybe he does remember because it was a really memorable game. But
I think so.
But if you how many times do Chelsea play Liverpool a year? Like,
yeah, I know, but there's certain things that happen in those games that are memorable. If you played me a bit of audio from the 2000, from the Champions League final, or something memorable that happened, I'm going to remember it. I'm going to go, hold on.
Yeah, cause that's why I'm asking. Because I'm not a football fan, but it seems a bit obscure that they played the one game that he was at. You know what I mean?
He was at all the games.
Was he?
Well, I would imagine
he could have been he could have been a seasons ago, I guess. Yeah.
I think that bit's.
I don't have that kind of memory.
Yeah. Do you know what the other bit that he noticed that put it out? I can't actually remember where I read this, and I'm gonna have to. If I'm wrong, I'll do some fact checking and I'll come out. But he notices that the bra that the lady's wearing is not from the 1940s.
Really?
That's another thing. I read this somewhere. That's another thing that tips him off.
It's a wonder bra.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Because you can.
Because it's not droopy or whatever.
No, it's just not the type of bra. There's a different shape to it, right? And you can actually see, and I was looking out for it last night when watching it, you can see him look at her face, look down at her bra area.
Breasts. You can say breasts.
Can I say breast on this? Yeah. He looked down at her breasts, and then he looks back up, and I think that's when he gets up.
Yeah.
Because he knows something.
Where am I?
Yeah.
What is this place?
I'm going to ask you again.
Okay.
Where am I? He bursts out of the room. They announce Code 13, which I love to think that all these S.H.I.E.L.D. agents were in a room going, okay, so Code 1 is the pretzel truck is not working. Code 2, fire, obviously. Code 3,
he's fallen off the bed.
Yeah. Code 4,
he needs to go wee-wee.
Wow.
I don't like being put under pressure.
Code 5, the window cleaners are here and they might see through. Code 6,
he just did a backflip.
Wow, you're really good at it.
I'm so bad at this.
You really are. All the way through to Code 13, he has figured out that we are trying to trick him into believing he's in the 1940s.
It sounded like
and escaped.
It sounded like that'd be Code 1.
Right?
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why is that Code 13? That's what possible 12 things could happen more important to their operation than him realizing that it's all fake and escaping? What could possibly be more important?
I don't know.
That would get higher ranks in code.
I don't know.
Ridiculous.
Oh, God.
He escapes. We see Nick Fury, and he explains to him that he's been asleep for 70 years.
In Times Square.
Yeah, when he runs
with
into
all the
Times Square.
screens and Times Square.
For someone like him, must be so daunting.
Absolutely. A lot of great chance for some advertising though.
Oh yeah.
Get some cash in for Marvel.
What do we notice? Baskin Robbins.
McDonald's definitely. There's a HSBC. There was loads, obviously. It's Times Square.
Yeah.
That's all there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's the end of the film.
Been asleep for 70 years.
You've been asleep for a while, Cap.
70
years nearly.
That's where he says, he had a date.
Yeah.
He realises he's upset.
Again, sad. So he knows that if he's been asleep for 70 years, Peggy's almost certainly dead.
Yeah. Well, she was in her 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not dead.
So almost 70 years, but do you know the exact number? Was it 69 years?
I think it probably was 69. They just didn't want to say
They didn't want to say 69
Yeah.
years.
You've been asleep for a while, Cap. 69 years.
Just giggles.
Yeah, someone in the background.
Credits.
69.
Ooh.
That's probably why they didn't do
So
it. So we've got our after credit scene, which was actually just the intro scene. Well, not the intro scene, but was Captain America's intro scene in The Avengers.
The Avengers, yeah.
Which is a nice little, cameo. I think that's the first time they've done that though. And I don't think they've done that again since actually, where
they've used a scene in another film. Not that I can think of, no.
I can't think of any others.
But you see him beating up the bag, which is,
it shows his frustration. He's struggling to adapt. He's angry. So that does set up actually his character quite well in The Avengers, I think.
I think so.
Okay.
So that's the end of the film.
That's it.
Good film.
Upon reflection, I really enjoyed it. Do you want to do scores or questions first?
We'll do scores first.
Let's do scores. Who wants to go first?
You go first.
I'll go first. Okay. Nothing's written down. I'm going to take 10 seconds to think about this. I really enjoyed this film. I really, really enjoyed this. Much more so than Thor, much more so than Iron Man 2, much more so than The Incredible Hulk. So I didn't find too many flaws in it. I'm just on how much I enjoyed it more so than I thought I would. I'm going to go straight in. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
I think it's deserving.
Okay.
I think there was so many more plot holes in the other films. And obviously, they're all superhero films, right? They're all comic books. So there's going to be plot holes everywhere. But with this one, it was just almost from start to finish. It was just a really enjoyable watch. There was only a few moments where I felt like I was taken out of it. So yeah, for me, it's a solid film. I'm going to go and I will definitely watch this again soon.
Cool.
For me, 8 out of 10.
Nice. I think I might join you on that.
Ooh,
I think 8 out of 10 sounds good. It's a very light film. It's light. It's happy. It's the good guy winning, if you know what I mean, through the most of the film.
Yep.
Like you said, the plot holes, they weren't proper plot holes where it was a big deal. You know, the other films, there's other plot holes where things are said or done where you're like, well, that doesn't match up with future films or that doesn't really happen in this film that I can remember. There's a few bits that, like you said, took me out of it, that I didn't enjoy. But I sat there and I watched this whole film. I didn't want to pick up my phone once and play a bit of Candy Crush or anything.
Yep.
I wanted to watch it and enjoy it. And Chris Evans does a great job. I think everyone in the film does a great job.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I'm more than happy to give this an 8.
Nice. I think if I had scored this film, had this been my first time watching it back in 2011, it would be nowhere near an 8.
4 or 5, maybe?
I think what's also influenced it is because I didn't really connect with the character of Captain America then. I found him pompous. I found him self-righteous. I found him...
Is this from the comics and the cartoons that you're thinking of?
No, I'm thinking more from how he came across in the film, how I first perceived him.
Right, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Knowing what's to come, having seen all the rest of the film, Captain America, all the other Captain Americas, the Avengers, all those films, I've got a lot more love for him than I did. And now looking back at him, how he starts, how he's basically always been the same, but I've grown to like him more.
Yeah.
So going back and watching this film has made me like it way more than it would have done had I reviewed this back then.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But what I will say to your point about how he's come across in the comics and things, to me in the comics, right, first of all, he's bigger. He's ridiculously misshapen I think in the comics, but he also seems like he's like this 40, 50-year-old man.
Yeah. He's the leader.
He's the leader.
Always
right?
the leader. Yeah.
But when you think about it, he's not. He's only about 20 years old.
Yeah.
And he's been frozen for 70 years. So by the time it comes around to Endgame and stuff, he's only, 25, 26? Oh, Endgame, there's a 5-year gap. So
maybe early 30s.
Yeah.
Mid 30s. Yeah. Maybe.
So, this kind of stuff has got to come into it because Captain America, Iron Man, considerably older. Maybe not as
older,
responsible.
smarter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Genius, knows what's happened in the last 70 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think how he's portrayed in the comic books is not how he's portrayed in the films. They make him a nice American hero.
The good guy.
Does
the right thing.
But he's not the self-important, self-righteous.
I think he's a bit more tough love in the comics as well. I think. Yeah, that doesn't come through much.
Yeah, he's definitely got a soft side in the film.
Absolutely.
Which I like. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a few questions and comments from listeners.
Okay, I've got 2 questions which are sort of along the same lines.
Okay.
Sort of the same sort of question in a way, but whatever.
Okay.
We'll see your answers.
Go for it.
Right, so you've got the serum to turn you into Captain America in one hand. How much money has to be in your other hand for you not to take that serum? How much would it cost for you not to be a super soldier or basically that Captain America?
Interesting question.
Because at the end of the day, we're all human. Money is a big thing, but we want superpowers as well.
I don't think it's gonna be a lot of money because I don't have that in me, right? I don't have if I got...
but just doing backflips in front of people, like showing off or jumping over a house. You know what I mean? Just things I'd love to show off.
I'd much rather just be me and watch the films and record a podcast about it.
Okay.
Than have the social responsibility to save the world.
I never said it was a social responsibility. I said have the powers.
But there would be a social responsibility because with great power comes great responsibility.
I've never heard that phrase before.
Such an arse. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. So do you have a number?
£20. Yeah, 20 quid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh no.
I'm not.
We're different in many ways.
You'd be even worse. If you got those powers, you'd be worse.
Yeah, I know.
You'd be a villain.
No, actually, but I wouldn't be able to get drunk.
Exactly.
So that would change things. Yeah, I'll go mental.
Yeah. So you'd be a villain. So actually, you should take the 20 quid as well.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. The second question: you are given the serum. You want the serum. You say whatever. Let's discount what you just said. But there's a 50-50 chance you'll look like Red Skull, or you'll get the powers of Captain America. Do you still take it?
50-50 chance you'll look like Red Skull or get the powers.
Yeah. So it's 50-50 you're Captain America or Red Skull. So
do I have powers as Red Skull? Or do I just
you're strong like Red Skull, but you'll look exactly like him with no nose and red head and bald.
So what's the option? Do I take it?
Yeah. Do you still take it even though there's a 50-50 chance you can turn into looking like him?
No, I think I've given my answer to that previously.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
I'm not, yeah.
You're not that bothered, yeah.
No, I'm not that bothered, no. Not
see why I said they were sort of linked, the question.
Yeah, I see, yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, I wouldn't take it.
Okay.
You?
What would you do with it?
I'll give it to you.
Okay, cheers.
I'd make you take it.
Oh, I'd mix it with some rum and see what happens.
Charlie, inject this. Oh, sure.
Let me get my needles out.
That's totally feasible. We have one more question coming in. Why do they waste a good resource by making him part of a dance show? I think we've already covered this partly, but it's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, the alternative was, because he was supposed to be part of a super soldier army, not just one soldier, they couldn't just release him. They would have to keep him back and do tests and check everything out. Because he's just come out of the chamber and been let loose, basically. That's not, the government, the army couldn't do that. So I do kind of understand. So he had to go a little bit rogue after going through all the...
It's like Tommy Lee Jones says, he's like, I was building an army, not one man. You know what I mean? So him actually doing what he did probably brought a lot of people into the army and got a lot of buyers for the guns and whatever.
Yeah.
So he did still help out the army and help the cause of what he was doing. But at the time, they couldn't see what one super soldier would do. You know what I mean? It's just one bloke. It doesn't matter if he is strong. They don't have it in their minds what he can actually do yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until obviously they're shown what he can do, and then he's given his own unit.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
So it was unfathomed of what he could do.
That's a good point. But there we go. Okay. That's that, everybody. That is the pod.
That is Captain America.
That was Captain America. It was 2011's Captain America, starring Chris Evans, Hugo Weaving, Sebastian Stan, Hayley Atwell, and
Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci.
You want to get that in one more time. That's fine. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you happen to make your way over to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. It really helps the podcast grow, gets us loads more listeners, loads more of you lovely people. You can find us on all major podcast platforms. We will be coming soon to YouTube as soon as I figure out how to do it. Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Apple, all of them. We should be everywhere. You can get in touch, email us with any questions, any comments about the films that are coming up. Most importantly, we do need suggestions for our next franchise. So we've only got one more to record.
We've got the Avengers left.
Which is the Avengers coming up. So after that, we need a new franchise and we need suggestions from you lovely listeners.
What are you hoping for? What are you hoping for the listeners to ask us to do?
Me?
Is there anything in particular?
Personally, I want to get away from comic book movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be shoehorned as a comic book movie podcast only.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Action film, horror film. I'm not, whatever comes up, I'm happy to do it.
Absolutely.
You can find us on all social media platforms. You will find most interaction on Twitter and or Instagram at The Franchise Rundown or The Franchise RD on Twitter. Email at thefranchiserundown@outlook.com. Please get in touch. Any questions, comments? That's it. That's the pod. I've been Wayne.
I've been Charlie.
Yes!
Nice.
Finally. Good night.
Thank you.